On this episode, after several days away, I return to my floating home. Outside, sub-zero temperatures. And inside the boat, it's -1 Celsius. I'm trapped, isolated in the frozen canal. But I'm okay, as nature keeps me entertained with her version of dancing on ice. The beast from the east creates beauty. Leaves from the fall are dressed in glistening crystals. And out of the stillness, this winter wonderland, I find myself giving nature a helping hand.
I'm so pleased it survived.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy. On my journey through life, I don't always know what's around the corner. And planning doesn't always work out as planned.
Yeah, get caught up in the dark days.
I like to act on impulse, go with my inner feelings, do things in the moment. It doesn't always mean that my path will be clear, but that's okay. That's life.
So find your inner light and shine. Ooh.
Casting off, leaving my mooring, and continuing the journey up the canal. I embrace my experiences of each passing moment.
Bring it to the world. Yeah, and if we all did it, the world would be a brighter place. Yeah, lighting up each face. Yeah. So, winter time, inner time. Ooh, inner time. Oh, inner time.
I'm guided to my next mooring by nature. To the front of the boat, port side, flying from tree to tree, is a kingfisher. Suddenly, it changes direction, flies across the canal and perches itself on a branch on an oak tree. My intuition tells me this is where I should moor my boat. I've actually stayed at this particular spot in the past few years quite a few times, and nature has provided me with some memorable experiences. Here, I ended up with a very large predator bird staying inside my boat, which you'll find a little bit more about that later on. And I've listened to one of the most amazing spring dawn choruses I've ever heard. Right here. Despite this being an isolated mooring and hardly any Wi-Fi signal, it's got beautiful views. Still some leftover autumn colours in the leaves on the trees. And no other boats around. I have a peaceful and tranquil mooring all to myself. I'd had to go away from the boat for a few days. But when I returned, it seemed a sunny day, but it was -6 outside. My boat was frozen in by ice. My intended short stay was now looking more like a long stay. And the forecast was that it was going to remain cold for at least another week. Inside the boat, it was the coldest I've ever known it. The bottled water contained ice. My dishcloth was frozen. It was -1 Celsius. And sadly, my plants had really suffered badly from the shock of the cold, despite me covering them in netting before I left. The first thing to do was get the fire going. Normally it takes around 20 minutes to get the boat nice and warm, but with the extreme cold weather outside, it took a good few hours. I knew the cold weather was just temporary and that it would eventually pass. It's just one of them obstacles, challenges that we face through life. But to get through, sometimes it just requires change and to come out of our comfort zone. My water tank was nearly empty, which meant I had to drastically cut down my use of water. I had to haul backwards and forwards supplies of bottles of water, logs and fuel, 1/2 mile along the Canal towpath. But that's part of boating life. It needs to be done. I don't have a television on board my boat. Mother Nature provides entertainment for me. It's just a case of switching off and tuning in. A frozen canal, a gentle breeze, fallen leaves, and a performance of dancing on ice. A fellow boater a few years back mentioned to me that at this spot he'd witnessed a deer walking each morning along the towpath. So one evening I set my cameras up, ready to press the red button in the morning. 8:30, guess what? I looked out the front window and there was a deer right in front of my boat. I couldn't believe it. I went straight to the camera and I pressed the button. And this message came up on the screen. Cannot record. Oh no, I'd forgot to put the memory card in. Oh dear. By the time I'd found the memory card, the deer had gone. For the next 2 days, I set up the camera again, left it rolling every morning for about 3 or 4 hours, but nothing. That deer didn't turn up. But that's the way things sometimes turn out. As the days passed, it became colder, reaching a low of -12 Celsius. The climatic conditions are perfect for a hoar frost. Ice crystals form like feathers when water vapours in the air touches objects that are already below freezing point. The ice continues to grow as each droplet of water freezes, creating some magnificent, beautiful scenes. A production by nature, from dancing on ice to a touch of frost. I knew the ice was getting thicker day by day, and I could be stuck here for weeks. My only real chance of escaping moving the boat was if another boat, like a workboat, came past me, breaking its way through the ice. It was only another minute later, after I'd been having them thoughts, that I heard the sound of breaking ice. I looked to see if I could see a boat was coming up from behind. Nothing. I looked out the front. Nothing. There was no sign of any boat. But yet I could still hear the sound of breaking ice. A closer look out the front doors, I spotted something in the water, quite large, jumping about. It was a deer. It was struggling to get out of the canal. Canal tranquility dissolved away and adrenaline rushed in.
Boots, 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 boots. Okay, come here. Come on. Come on. What's the rope? Come on. Come on. Rope.
Whilst heading back for the rope, I didn't know until I looked back on film, but something wonderful seemed to be happening. Listen carefully, you'll hear an occasional bird whistle. And watch the deer as it seems to listen and turn its head to face the direction of the bird sound. Look closely at the bottom right of the screen as a robin appears and is calling towards the deer. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Running back down the canal towpath with the rope, the plan was to form a lasso. On my first attempt to throw the rope, it missed. On my second attempt, the rope landed directly over the head and body of the deer. But as I pulled and pulled, it slipped off the back legs.
Okay.
The deer was now heading towards the other side of the canal, and it was too far for me to throw the rope again. All I could do now was just hope and pray that it could somehow get out on its own.
Oh, excuse my language. Oh, I nearly had her. Come on, babes. You can do it. Yes. Yes. Oh. Ah. Oh, thank goodness. Oh. 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 Ah. I heard a splash when I was in the boat, and I thought it was a boat coming, breaking through the ice, and it was a deer falling in. Oh. That's so lovely. I'm so pleased it survived. Oh, I was just so worried if it just stayed there. but obviously it was frightened of me, so it's managed to swim and jump out the other side, but it couldn't get out this side the towpath. Oh. Oh dear. But all ends well. Oh, go and get warm, cup of tea. Oh my God. And I saved the heron here at this spot as well. On, I think it was vlog number 2 or 3. The same spot, the same place. And now attempt to rescue a deer. I was meant to be here. Wonderful. Well, it is wonderful now that that deer has managed to swim across. But obviously it fell in here because you can see the ice just outside the boat. I'm cold. Cup of tea.
Thank you for joining me on Narrowboat Business. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Look forward to seeing you back on board soon. Thank you.